fantasy, I'd like to be fed. Give me a romance in only one bed. Fighting or flirting, a sweet little treat. Reading or watching our picks of the week. I was in a romantasy slump, as you can probably tell from my picks of the week. However, on a whim, on a random little inclination, I was going through Goodreads. I was going through the fantasy romance subreddit. I was trying to find something to cure my lumps.
This is the one you sent me.
Yes.
And you betrayed me.
I did. I totally forgot that this was dual POV first person, which I will say is probably its only crime besides being too long. Other than that, it cured my romantasy slump.
That's significant.
That's some like high praise. What did you call these book titles?
I cannot take credit for this. So some sweet, amazing poster on the fantasy romantasy subreddit called these books a bowl of mac and cheese.
Honestly, yeah. So this is A Vow of Blood and Tears, a bowl of mac and cheese. By Cate Corvin. It was on Kindle Unlimited, so it's free if you want to try. Normally, I stick away from these books. It only has like 1,000 reviews, I think, on Goodreads. It has like a 4.3 or something, but they're so inflated on Goodreads these days that I don't really trust it. And so I went into this expecting to not like it, to be meh, and I was bamboozled. It was very good. I'm only 60% of the way done with it so far, but it's 750 pages, so that's like a full book's length. But this follows the story of Siri, who is a mute. So she uses like hand signals to communicate with people. But this is set in obviously a fantasy setting. And so nobody really understands what she's talking about. And so everybody just assumes that she's stupid. But it's like, if you could understand what I'm saying, like I am extremely smart and I'm cussing you out right now. And everybody's like, you stupid, whatever. So she is part of this Silver Sisterhood, I think is what it's called, where it's kind of like a cult religion, whatever, where they are historically vampire hunters and they switch out their teeth with silver teeth. And once you're like higher up in the sisterhood or whatever, and I'm assuming that becomes more important later in the book, but she is novice. I feel like there's another word for it, but yeah.
She's an acolyte?
Yes, that is the word that was in my brain, and I could not produce it out of my mouth to save my life. She's an acolyte. She would become a full librarian because she's super interested in reading. The book starts, she is cleaning up a murder scene.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's just suicide. A girl offed herself because she was going to be married off to, I don't remember what they're called, but this guy whose name is Bane. He is a vampire.
I cannot hear Bane and not think The Dark Knight.
Yeah, that's fair. That's what I thought at first. And then the adorableness and well put together of this character cured that. But she is being married off to him and she's like, absolutely not. And she offs herself. And then they are trying to find someone to take her place. And obviously they're like, Siri, we could like sell you off to this man and, would be no worse for the wearer. You don't know any knowledge about our secret sisterhood or whatever. And so she is put into a wedding dress and they pop her up there and they're like, hee, we're going to get a, one up on this vampire guy who is basically our savior. Because 10 years ago, there was the Blood Accords where there are werewolves and they were hunting down the human population. Vampires had been forced underground. And so the humans and vampires got together into like an agreement pact, and 4 vampires turned into their like beast forms where they're not even human looking. They're monstrous, scary, meant to kill, whatever. And so at the end of the 10 years, they have to marry a human bride.
This is giving me Slain the Vampire Conqueror vibes.
Yes. Yeah, that's super similar too, except she's not an assassin. She's going into this like, this man is kind of saving me, but like, I also want to be a librarian. Marry her off. He is absolutely monstrous looking. His jowls, whatever. Whole face looks like an actual bat, like not like a handsome like vampire, but It's like elongated.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, and he has teeth that don't even fit in his mouth, and he's like 8 feet tall. He has like claws, and his like feet are actual animal legs. You know where they like bend the wrong way. You know, so he's like pretty fucked up. And every time that he like, switches into like more beast form to like, kill off werewolves, it takes him months to get back to his level of humanity looking. And so each time he goes to protect his lands, it's okay. Well, that's like 2 months worth of trying to shift back into a human.
That's an interesting take on the shape-changing aspect.
Yeah. And all the other vampires obviously are stunning, gorgeous looking. And so they get married. They kind of enter into this like, I'm interested in you. You're interested in me. You are terrified of me, though, because I'm this freaky monster thing. And I really want to know what you're talking about. And she's, oh my gosh, this person is the first person that's ever bothered to listen to me. And there progresses their romance, yada, yada. It is legit so fucking good, though. There's side characters that are like interesting. The romance isn't immediate and developed. They have to like get to know each other. And one of the similar books I said was Radiance by Grace Draven, where they do have that kind of like, you're disgusting. And they have to like get over that. Super well done, like well paced. They like learn to be friends first and then lovers.
I want to read this.
I'm so sorry it's in first person.
I don't know that I could get past that because how often does the perspective switch?
I think every chapter, every like 1 or 2 chapters. And it's hard because the voice is pretty similar between the two of them. But I do feel like the main character being mute kind of like shifts it enough that you like know whose head you're in. Not to the what it should be for like dual POV. And this book would probably be like A+ level if it was third person. But it's not super distracting. I know it's not one of your favorites.
Sidebar. I just feel like whenever I open a book and the chapter starts with the name on the front of the chapter, it's like a cop-out for the writer. Now you have to tell the reader what voice they're going to be in.
Yeah.
The writing should speak for itself.
Yeah. I feel like it might just be the way I had my like Kindle set up, but I almost didn't even like look at who it was speaking, and I always knew immediately. So I don't know if that speaks to their like writing level or competency or whatever, but I feel like it was pretty clear whose brain you were in. And again, I think it's like the mute helped with it. Similar books, Radiance by Grace Draven, I feel like it very much follows that same like, if you're gonna marry a monster, you're gonna feel yucky about it, and then you have to learn to not feel yucky. And then The Winter King by C.L. Wilson. I don't know if you ever read this one.
I think I may have. I just blocked it out of my brain.
Yeah, it's like an older one. It, is very quintessential romantasy, but I kind of loved it. But it follows almost the exact same plot as this one. And then this is kind of out of right field.
How dare you, Katie?
A Soul to Keep by Opal Reyne. Let me explain. He's in beast form, and he is part beast. And so there are some similarities in A Soul to Keep and A Vow of Blood and Tears.
I know the similarities. I can picture the cover.
Yeah. It's, because he has horns, too. I forgot.
Of course he does.
Yes, obviously, because he's a vampire beast. But I feel like it's kind of similar, like, why am I attracted to this freaky whatever in the way that Radiance is, but not as crazy. But there's definitely some very explicit smut scenes in A Vow of Blood and Tears. I liked it a lot. I will for sure finish it. If you're in a romantasy slump and you're like, none of these books that I have read recently or tried to read have been doing it for me, and you're okay with
You're
first
less
person,
judging.
I would highly recommend A Vow of Blood and Tears by Cate Corvin.
From Katie's shelf to yours.
We'll see you in the next page. Readers, like what you've been hearing? Like and subscribe to us on YouTube or Patreon at Not Another Heroine to support our growing library and get access to exclusive bonus content.
Ready for the next page? We post new episodes every Monday and Wednesday wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks for listening.